Have you ever held a small coin that feels like it carries a century of history in your hand? A coin that once traveled through the pockets of soldiers, workers, and families during the First World Wars. Well, today we re-exploring one such historical masterpiece, the 1917 Mercury dime, one of America's most admired and collectible silver coins. And yes, in 2025, it is still making headlines among coin collectors, because of its beauty, its design, and its surprisingly high market value. Let us begin the journey of this rare silver dime. This coin was minted over 108 years ago in the year 1917, during a time when the United States was stepping into World War I. The coin represents freedom, strength, and peace, all carved beautifully into a 17.9mm piece of silver. Now look closely at the obverse side, the front of the coin. You'll see the portrait of Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap. Those wings symbolize freedom of thought, the power of the American mind. Many people mistook this figure for Mercury, the Roman messenger god, and that's how the coin earned its famous nickname. The Mercury dimes. Just below Liberty's neck you can notice a small W. The designer's initial, Adolph A. Weinman, one of the greatest coin artists in American history. Below that, the year 1917 is clearly struck. Now the interesting part, your coin has no mint mark, which means it was minted in Philadelphia. During that time, 3 mints were producing Mercury dimes. Philadelphia. No mint mark. Denver, Day, and San Francisco. Yes. The Philadelphia Mint struck the largest number in 1917, over 55 million pieces. But very few have survived in good shape today. Most were worn out in circulation, melted down for their silver, or lost in time. Now let us flip the coin to the reverse side. Here we see one of the most symbolic designs in U.S. coinage history, a fasces. A bundle of rods tied around an axe, representing unity and strength, and an olive branch wrapped around it symbolizing peace. Together they deliver a powerful message: peace through strength. Around the top edge you can read United States of America, and at the bottom it proudly says, 1 dimes. In the middle the Latin phrase, e pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, the core idea of the United States. Now here's where things get interesting: the composition and weight. Each Mercury dime is made of 90% silver and 10% copper, weighing 2.5 grams. So even if it's just a dime, it carries real silver content that makes it valuable even as bullion. But the real value comes from its rarity and condition. Let us talk about the 2025 market value. If you have a 1917 Mercury dime with no mint mark, in circulated condition, maybe worn with most details visible, it can sell for around $5 to $15 USD. If the coin is in fine or very fine condition, meaning you can clearly see most of Liberty's hairlines, and the wings are defined, that value jumps to around $30 to $75. Now if you have one in extremely fine condition with strong details, slight wear, and a shiny surface, you're looking at $100 to $200. And here comes the big jump in uncirculated mint state condition. Collectors are paying $250 to $450, depending on luster and strike quality. But the rarest ones, those graded MS67 or higher, especially with full split bands on the reverse, can fetch $2,000 to $3,500, sometimes even more in top-tier auctions like Heritage or Stack S. Bowers. What are full split bands? They read the 3 horizontal bands wrapped around the fasces on the back. If those lines are sharp, fully separated, and not worn, it means the coin was struck with perfect precision. Collectors pay huge premiums for such coins, especially in the 1916-1919 range. Now, let us talk about errors and varieties, because that's where real treasure hides. One known variety for the 1917 Mercury dime is the double die obverse, where the word Liberty, or in God we trust, looks slightly doubled under magnification. Such coins can bring in anywhere between $150 and $1,000, depending on the grade. Another collectible type is the off-center strike error, where part of the design is missing because the coin was not properly centered in the press. These can be worth $200 to $600 or more. And then there are clipped planchets, where a small portion of the coin's edge is missing. Even minor clips can bring $50 plus, and larger ones much more. Now let us talk about grading, because condition is everything. Collectors and investors use professional grading scales from 1 to 70, where 70 means perfect untouched mint fresh quality. If your coin looks bright shiny and has sharp edges on the lettering, it could be worth grading by PCGS or NGC, two of the top grading companies in the world. And don't forget because of its 90% silver composition. Even a worn 1917 Mercury dime always carries a base melt value around $2 to $3, depending on silver price trends in 2025. But for collectors, the real value goes far beyond silver. It's the art, the age, and the story that make this coin a timeless collectible. Just imagine your 1917 dime might have been used during the roaring 1920, survived the Great Depression, and traveled across decades before landing in your hand today. That's more than a coin, that's living history. So before you think about selling it or ignoring it, take a closer look under good light. Check the edges, the strike, and especially those facets bands. You might be holding something much rarer than you realize. Collectors worldwide are constantly looking for early-date Mercury dimes in original condition. Some even build full-date and mint-mark collections from 1916 to 1945, and your 1917 Philadelphia issue is one of the key early pieces in that set. In 2025, the popularity of vintage U.S. silver coins is rising again, and Mercury dimes are at the top of the list, both for beginners and advanced collectors. So whether your coin is slightly worn or beautifully preserved, keep it safe. Protect it in a clear holder, and never clean it. Cleaning can reduce its value drastically. Your coin tells a story of America's strength, peace, and freedom from over a century ago, and that's something money can replace. So next time you come across a small silver dime from 1917, remember, you're not just holding 10 cents. You're holding a piece of history that could be worth hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars.